Mm. Mhm.
Hello.
Hey. Mm.
Six people opened our email.
Okay. Hmm.
How you feeling today?
I was just sitting there thinking about how my arm has been bothering me all morning, but I didn't sleep. Like I woke up at 3 or something with a headache.
Oh,
So I switched to the couch and I must have just like slept wrong,
wow.
something. Which
I was,
normally sleeping on the couch actually prevents my shoulder from hurting. So I just must have pinched. It's got to be, the more I think about it, it's got to be the pinched nerve in my neck. Like, mhm.
well, as they unwork it, like it must travel to other places.
Yeah.
No.
Who the fuck knows? I have no idea. Like another person I know had the exact same injury, and she said it was like 6 months.
Really?
Yeah. Um, but she was like, you haven't even gotten to like physical therapy yet, right? And I was like, no. And she said it was like a solid 3 months of physical therapy.
Physical therapy.
So, because what is it? Next week, I think, is when my reeval is. Count. Like,
So it's been a month, right? Like,
well, since it's been over a month since the accident, but not, let me see. He said at the 6 week mark of treatment for my chiro. So I'm at 1, 2, 3. This is only my fourth week of treatment.
wow,
So that's
not fun.
so we got like 2 more weeks. Oh,
And
approved.
then do you know when you're going to start physical therapy?
I think at 6 weeks he refers me. So I'm probably like 2 weeks. Last week in January is when I think the referral happens. Maybe. Has to do with how I'm progressing.
Yeah.
Say we got Sean's note taker in here, but I don't see a Sean.
I think he did that last time too. He doesn't want to miss anything.
Um, mm,
It's 11:31. Is Mark not joining us today?
I don't know. I have no idea. He was on there. When Mark, Bridget, I have a few people. Just always is a question. Yeah. Oh, I guess he said no. Yeah. Da, 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 da,
I
da,
have the transcript from the State of the State if you'd like to see that.
da.
Going through because I want to make sure we hit all the businesses he talked about.
We're recording, so we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Wait. No.
Anticipation.
I know.
But the background looks pretty.
Yeah, we should change it up this year. I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna put all that in that suite that we want to request for assets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about allocating a budget for internal like marketing
Yep.
so that it's tracked like any other job, and a ceiling too to prevent like people choosing internal marketing over paid client work.
Yeah.
Mm. Um, we'll give it a few minutes and then I might just call it if we don't get anyone since
Okay.
I'm still recovering from the accident, the big crash. I started writing a social post about the crash.
I was going to ask you about that when we were talking in our one-on-one the other day, if you were going to do something.
Yeah. It's about the ultimate oh shit moment.
It absolutely.
Mm, mm, mm.
Without a doubt.
Mm.
I think we all have those oh shit moments
Mhm.
that change. Well, there's more than one in everyone's life, in my opinion.
Mm.
Dear. I feel like we're in class. Remember, like in college, you had to wait the
Oh
professor, you
yeah.
could use for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then out. And it would always seemed to be my luck that they would come in at the last second.
I forgot about that. God, I haven't thought about that forever. The like 10-minute out. Oh, Bridget's here. Mm. Oh my goodness. You're like the most exciting person to see sign up.
Hi, New Year.
Happy New Year. We're off to like a slow start this year. Getting everyone back on. Bridget meet Sherry, Sherry meet Bridget.
Hi, Bridget. Nice to meet you.
Bridget and I met through a mutual friend, and you are an AI expert, which I love.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Thanks
uh,
a lot.
Genius. We haven't been pushing this one. I was in a car accident last month,
Oh,
so
oh my gosh.
yeah, so I haven't been pushing this too much. I was like on the fence of like, ah, do we cancel? Do we not cancel? So we're gonna go a little off script. Give me the my brain is still recovering.
Oh my goodness. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I'll be fine. Just concussion stuff. Like I've never had a concussion before,
Yeah.
so it takes a while, I guess, to
Yeah,
get out of
it
your
does.
system and neck injury and all the things you can
Yeah.
imagine. So,
You're not supposed to be in front of screens when you have a concussion.
I know I'm 4 weeks out though, so like, now I'm back on screens. And plus I never could stop because that's like the reality
Yeah.
today in today's day and age. So we had a few more people that were signed up, but I don't know if they're running late, or if it's just one of those busy Wednesdays. So since you've never attended, Bridget, welcome to the Oh Shit live Q&A. We started doing this a couple months ago, just as, for clients and for, other people in our network who are like always trying to figure out, how to move their marketing forward. I don't know. I don't want to give you a spiel if I don't need to give
Yeah,
you.
you don't need to. I figured I'd just come on. I'm looking at marketing roles. So, I just thought, oh, this could be a great place to kind of get some insight in what's going on and just listen and learn.
Yeah, it's funny because we seem to get a lot of questions. Typically, what we get a lot of questions are like CRM stuff is like what everyone is
Mhm,
trying to wrap their heads around. But then the other thing that people are trying to really figure out right now is metrics and how to measure
mhm,
stuff. And what we have, so what I always say the oh shit moment is, and where people fall down on their marketing is they don't get who, what, where lined
mhm.
up properly. So we as marketers make everything so complicated that we overthink things and we forget the foundation, And so when we line up a very specific target audience, with what we want them to do and use the what as the means to build like their marketing dashboard and the metrics that you're measuring. Because I think that's where a lot of people, they're like, oh, we're going to target everyone with a mouth. And then they have no idea what the metrics are that are going to show whether or not the success of the everyone with a mouth. This is where my concussion is slows
Yeah,
me
that's
down.
okay. Yeah.
Uh, and then we talk a lot about what the channels are that people are doing. So what we've normally gotten is a lot of people come in with or people come in with a very specific question
Mhm,
about like, I'm trying to figure out Giving Tuesday, or I'm trying to figure out this campaign that isn't tracking and performing right, stuff along those lines. So what would be, you're trying to get back in the swing of
Well,
looking at.
I think so I've been doing some interviewing with companies and all of their oh shit moments are okay, AI overviews are stealing all of our traffic.
Mhm.
What do we do now? I've studied some, of the AI optimization stuff, which really starts with good SEO foundation and then making the content readable by LLMs and
Mhm.
but do you have any insight into what's working when you've depended so long on organ or on Google to deliver
Yeah.
traffic and
So
now.
I think actually that's where the who, what, where is pretty laser in, and that's where people have really fallen down. We've gotten lazy in our marketing,
Mm,
and frankly, the last 5 years in particular have been about gamifying or sort of like, how do you hijack the algorithms and make your content readable?
mhm.
So foundationally, what we see is the more specific the audience is, that you know who you're talking to. And like, for example, on our own, I'll use KSA as an example. We are building out content for our own website, which is specific to our ICPs. So like the ideal personas that we have. So whereas in the past we'll have a few generic posts that would, track like higher performing keywords. We're building specific like content blogs for manufacturing, and then
Yeah.
behind that we'll have content blogs just for education, and then writing it in those the list, it's not the listicle, but it's like those real
Yeah.
FAQs. Like that's what we see.
Yeah.
Um, but if you know what clients are struggling with is if they don't want to make those tough choices about who their ideal customers are. Like we know manufacturing, education, and then we have a lot of government work. So we're building content that fits those three. We've
Mhm.
had other clients or prospects where they are like, oh, but we just want anyone who wants to, whether it's like an electrical machinist and stuff like that. Like they're like, yeah, if you have a big machine, we'll fix it. But you really have to
Yeah.
know who you're speaking to and understand what that journey is, and then build the content that meets their needs. So there's all sorts of other technical stuff, and I'm not an SEO expert by any means. We have a team that I rely on for that, but it's about well, getting the search, like the user experience on your website to flow properly
Yeah.
to bucket out that content. So like within
Yeah.
our own side, within our own site, we have like specific landing pages just for each of those ICPs that are like getting rolled out,
Yeah, that makes sense too,
built
because
on.
it's like people are so sick of the generic AI content, hyper personalization, right?
Yes.
Of the vertical, like if you're in healthcare, here's how this affects you. If you're in manufacturing, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I
And
think,
and even when we run paid advertising, because a big chunk of what we do is we run paid on LinkedIn or digital or whatever those campaigns are, making sure that each sort of ad set is built with that vertical or that very specific audience in mind. And then instead of testing audiences within an ad set, we're testing sort of ad sets by audiences, if that makes sense. It's sort of a different strategy and approach. So you're sort of going deeper with like what the funnel is. What is the organic content at the top? What is the paid content that hooks them down further to like raise their hand or visit a landing page that speaks to that audience? And then what is the conversion page that pushes them even further? So I feel like even 18 months ago, you could get away with like more broader landing pages. And those broader landing pages would still have some conversion off of it. The better results and the better ROI is 100% when we get very specific on a
yeah,
landing page, and the ad set is pointing, like the whole journey from the top to the bottom is pointing to that specific
specific persona. Yeah,
yeah. And I almost wouldn't say it's not even the personalization, because like personalization got to like all those AI generated videos like, hey
mhm.
Bridget, this is Katie,
Yeah,
founder of KSA, like all those talking
yeah,
robot stuff. I think people are seeing straight past that. They just want to know what the key themes are and keep on testing it. We use a lot of paid to test content before we roll it out on organic because you can get results
Yeah.
quicker on paid. So you can just test what messages people are responding to, what angles people, what content is moving the needle with the audiences you're targeting, and then use those insights when a campaign ends to then build out
Mhm.
um, an organic strategy or that will support it.
Yeah.
Is
That
that
makes
what match what you've been seeing from some of your research?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been involved in paid besides, trying to do some paid ads to promote my AI course and doing that on Meta, it was not
Oh
successful.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Meta's terrible right now.
it's like yeah, and they'll just, if you let them, they'll spend as much as you can give them. So, uh,
Yeah.
it has to be really strategic there. I
Yeah.
haven't tried other approaches, other platforms. So when you're talking about doing paid, you mean on Google?
Oh, we do it across, usually we're doing across multiple, we've got Phyllis joining. Usually when we're running paid, we're doing it across multiple channels. So
Mhm.
multiple channels are it depends on budgets. So like, there's a couple different ways. Hi, Phyllis. How are you? Good
I'm
to see you. Happy New
fine.
Year.
Thank you.
Uh,
I love your background. It's so
Oh, thank you.
very
Thank you. Phyllis is the OG of sales and a legend. Goldman Sachs cohort one here in Rhode Island.
cool.
We're just talking about different paid advertising strategies and things that we see. So, what what's really difficult right now is all AI has disrupted a lot of the paid digital too. So a lot of running paid is disabling and like filtering out the bots and the artificial crap that is like ticking up the cost on paid. So that's why a lot of people are, especially if they're self-running stuff on Facebook. They're just not opening enough of a budget that really moves the needle. And
Yeah, on the specific keywords that you're targeting, is it?
yeah, and there's just so much traffic, like inauthentic traffic on some of those platforms. So we tend to deal with bigger budgets. But even like, I don't know, Sherry, I'm trying to think. We've done some campaigns recently that are like as small as like $7,000 to $10,000 of spend, and the key is having three channels.
Yeah.
Even if you're fragmenting a smaller spend across each channel, there, going back 2 years ago, I would have recommended spend all that money in one channel and get all the insights you can out of the channel. But it's AI and GEO and all the fragmentation. We try to run three channels at once and see what moves the needle and then optimize after 30 days of shutting down, like distributing the budget between what seems to be performing better and hitting the metrics
Mhm.
there. So it's all very complicated. Um, but I go back to,
Science.
who's the audience, really investing in what the journey is and what the calls to action at each stage in the funnel are, and then where are the channels?
Yeah.
Because it really does, um, our brains need to see a message 7 times before we act on it. And with the amount of messages we're exposed to currently, it takes 10 times or more
Yeah.
for someone to act on it. So it's just that much more complicated and hard to figure it out. So it's a mess. Everyone's a mess,
Yeah.
the most important thing is having metrics that you're tracking, because at least you can move a needle, and you got to move beyond what the platform is. So if you run Facebook ads, you're going to have within Facebook, you're going to see impressions, you're going to see your cost per conversion, your click rates, but then you want to mirror that with your own web analytics to look at like what you're seeing in terms of time spent on page. Like what are the metrics that you own that Facebook doesn't own,
Mhm.
that you are using as context, whether it's like email sign-ups and stuff like that, that paint the picture beyond just that single platform.
Mhm.
And then tracking all that for a consistent period. We try, but we're working on a wrap report right now where we've done two different campaign sprints for a client. So we're looking at the traffic for all of 2025. And we're looking at what was the 90 days before we ran the first campaign, then the 90 days of a paid campaign. Then we like to turn advertising off for 60 to 90 days, just to see what happens, and then turn it back on. And
Yeah.
then that gives us a year of
Yeah.
data of on and off that has can really inform what can move the needle.
Impatience is not a good trait for this kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct,
It
correct.
takes a
If
lot of
you, yeah, I think, quite frankly, paid performance marketing and lead generation has been the past few years people have been able to say like, oh, I'm just going to sink money in and I can get all the clients I need in 30 to 45 days, and then it becomes a machine and a beast that you have to keep on funding. And I see a lot of clients um, struggle to keep on funding their paid campaigns. But if you actually slow it down and look at your first year of running paid as a big year of experiments of on and off and on and off, um, and remember that marketing is an investment. It's not like this isn't you can get short-term results, but if you're going to spend money on paid, you really need to be thinking about what the brand equity is, what the awareness is that you're doing, and think strategy over tactics.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what, Phyllis? Since we have the legend of sales here on this call, you have grown a tremendous business
Oh,
over the decades. Like, I mean, literally yesterday, Bridget, as context, I was having a conversation with someone, and we were talking about how Phyllis is uh, just sort of the OG of how you start a business, grow a business, and keep it going for decades.
well, the answer is the great team.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
But
that's
I think you are the hardest hustler, and you go
people
out.
run from me. Like Brian, what's his name? Brendan Kane. You know him from Peregrine? Okay. Well, he goes, "Oh my God, she's coming. Run for your life."
Yeah,
I say, Brendan, you wish, honey. So
So
much fun.
thinking about your business today versus what you started at 40 years ago.
Yeah, 36, 36.
Yeah, 36 years from when you started at 36 years ago. What would today's self, with all the marketing and all the hustling and the networking that you do, because you exhibit and you do emails and you have a website and your social media and all that, what advice would you give year one Phyllis in business, knowing what you know now?
Well, I've been very fortunate, as I said, I've got a great team, but somehow I started off just by being in there in person and
Hmm.
going to chamber events and networking. And not that what you do is amazing, but
Hmm.
I never had the funds to do the
And
good marketing,
most small businesses don't,
you know?
like yeah, that's the hardest part. And to the point of what we were just talking about with Bridget, I see a lot of businesses, small businesses spend money on Facebook paid ads because there's a lot of self-service platforms that it's easy for someone to run paid advertising, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't get anything from it. And that
Well,
didn't exist 36 years ago.
no, this is true. There was nothing else. I mean, you either hired a company or what else are you going to do? There was none of the platforms, the LinkedIn, the Facebook. Um, I know it's hard to imagine a world without that, but that's the way it was. So I just went out and I did the chamber events and I did the networking. And 36 years later, that's what I still do because honestly, it's fun. I love it. It's so much fun. Sometimes you run across people that don't get it and you just walk away and go on to the next one. But you meet so many good people out there. And it's a pleasure to hang out. And as long as I can, even though now I walk with a cane when I go out to the networking events, I don't give a flying. I still do it.
You can save the fuck word. Go
Okay, I
for it.
don't give a flying fuck. Katie, I love it because you are who you are, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think that when you give back, there's no question about it. Like I was just talking to this guy that I just met, and anybody that follows through and writes to me the next day is like, yes. Right? How many people do we meet out there? And yeah, I'll send you an email and you never hear from him again. But he just sent me an email. I'm like,
Phyllis, what is your business?
oh, we design and furnish commercial buildings
Oh, cool. Okay.
and offices like Katie's. She was lovely enough to have us come over, and we have another meeting in a week or two, a couple of weeks
Yep.
to do more.
Mhm.
And it's such a beautiful thing to watch you grow. And, it's like, it makes your heart feel good that you were maybe a little bit helpful in the process.
This is my second office that Phyllis has done. Bridget as context. So, like she was the first person you call. And I think that is, the same foundational thing that I always talk about is who, what, where. You got to know who is your right audience. You know that you're looking for people who have physical offices. Like, the work from home isn't going to be, you are always hunting for the growing companies too. And I think what you've always done a brilliant job of, Phyllis, is recognizing the first sale is not the last sale. And, staying connected with your customers through
I think that's so important. I mean, there's no bigger compliment than when a client calls you back. Say, I need this or I need that, or let me introduce you to. You can't buy that. That is just because of the good work that you do and the kind of person that you are. And you want to give back. I was just telling this to my to this gentleman. I got to tell you this because I'm bragging rights now, and I'll just take 1 minute to tell you that my son, who's a literary agent at UTA in LA, was at the represents K-pop.
Of course.
Wow.
Bridget's an award-winning journalist. So there you go.
Now he hasn't had one since Goodwill Hunting because he stole the script to Goodwill Hunting. He represented Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, and they wrote the script. And he works for United Talent, which is a talent agency. And he got the script. This is 30 years ago. And he sent it to the studios. The first offer came in at $350. He said no. He sold it for $650. He got them a 3-year contract, and the rest is history. But he hasn't had one in a while. And the last one was at least 12 years ago with American Beauty that he represented Alan Ball, who wrote and got the Oscar. And at the Oscar ceremony, I love it. I watched it. He said, if it wasn't for my agent, Andrew Canava, that movie never would have been made. I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
So I was just out there. We were just out there at Christmas, and he was telling me about K-pop. And I'm like, who's what? I don't know K-pop. I don't have any young kids around here. Anyway, I watched the Critics' Choice and the Golden Globes, and I see it won. And he just sent me because he didn't go to the Globes, but he went to the after parties with Netflix and UTA. And he just sent me a picture of him with the guys that got the award. I'm like,
I love it. I love it.
That's an aside. But back to what you have done, girl. I mean, Mongolia. I got to introduce you to my granddaughter, because she just spent 6 months in Europe going to school. And I called her the other day. She says, yeah, Nan, I'm on my way to New Zealand. I'm like,
Wow.
you're what?
I love that. I love that. That's so cool. Well, Phyllis, you are an inspiration and we can all
Well,
learn
you
from
as
you.
well.
And I think you are the definition of hustle and follow through,
No,
and
I think that
tenacity.
goes to uh, learning to sell and market in the days where internet was not an option is really where you get your chops. Like now
Yeah,
people are afraid to pick up the phone or go to an event in person. I mean, even
Right.
me personally, I'm introverted, so going to a networking event is out of
hard.
my comfort zone, but you really have to get in front of people, don't you?
Well,
Right?
and it goes back to that, like even we were talking about AI and how you show up, like, showing up in person contributes to all of
Yeah.
that. And the more you show up in person, I think the more organic and natural the pitch becomes and the content becomes. And then that's what we've started doing. Like we just did it yesterday. We start recording our internal conversations to then fuel our SEO and our social content and use that as a foundation because if you're having that dialogue, that's all um GEO and AEO is doing right now is just figuring out how to navigate that human dialogue. So if your content flows in that way, it picks up and is that much more effective. So,
Yeah.
but it comes back to the foundations because we just make it so complicated, and there's too many channels right now.
Yeah.
So, and I'll
Can I
start with
ask,
three.
Bridget, what is your company?
So I am a journalist and I left the company I was working for to create an online platform to teach small business owners how to use AI. I'm
Oh,
looking
that's
for a
cool.
full-time role right now. I'm interviewing, but very interested in marketing and public relations and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to come to the pro, Katie, and
Mhm.
listen to her
Yes,
Q&A.
definitely. That's no question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. This is an aside, but I just wanted to mention, I just bought a computer at Best Buy and I met this young woman, Corrine, and she was very knowledgeable and she was looking to get into marketing. I gave her your information. I don't know
Of
if she
course
had
you did.
called you.
No, I didn't hear from her.
All
So
right, well, you know me, I get crazy person.
That's awesome.
you never stop. You never stop.
She was really good. And she said, I'm only doing this. And she was with Best Buy with a geek squad, and she seemed
Yeah.
very, very knowledgeable. And I said, well, you know what? You want to talk to the best person in the state. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I,
But you know what? There's like a ton of kids coming out of school for marketing. My niece's boyfriend graduated with a marketing degree in the summer and has applied to hundreds of positions and is still at his in-between job because it's so tough right now to get a position. I
yeah,
mean,
and if you don't have any experience, they're
yeah,
really struggling, like
yeah,
really, really struggling. It's hard. I've got a friend who's built a whole business to help those kids get jobs.
great.
Because it's really like you need a landing page, you need like social media, you need like all the things. It's really it is tough, but I think tough. Frankly, I think it's tough at all levels right now. So, we're in a fortunate position where we are going to be, we just added a role and we're going to be hiring. So,
fantastic.
yeah.
Well,
So,
that's why I think for some reason, I knew about that. So I can you, I don't know if you want to chat with her, but to me, if you don't reach out, that tells me you're
yeah,
not interested,
then you're not the person. Yeah, that's
right? Yeah,
generally we tend to, especially with the, just follow instructions. It's
right.
usually the foundational
Not hard.
thing.
It's not hard. Just pick up the
Uh,
phone. Boy,
Awesome. Well, this was fun, ladies. It was good.
thank you. It's beautiful. I loved your background. That is so cool.
Thank you. Well, we love you, Phyllis, and it was great to see you.
Likewise.
Bridget, I'm going to drop you a note because I actually was talking about you yesterday.
Oh, cool. Great.
So great to see you, ladies. Go forth and kick some ass, and we'll
Hi, Sherry.
have a great year. Okay, bye.
Bye.
In a
Thank
couple
you.
of
Hey,
weeks.
Phyllis.
Take
Bye,
care.
Yeah,
Bridget.
bye.